Oh, he's done it. As well, got the finish. That's in towards Tommy Conway.
Goal!
Runners around him, goes on his own and scores a glorious goal.
Ruthless stuff for Bristol City.
Here we go then, the Manning era begins in West London. Bristol City hit the M4 and arrive in Shepherd's Bush to take on a struggling QPR. It's a tale of two new managers today though, of course. Liam Manning begins life in the hot seat for the Reds and Marty Cifuentes takes charge of his first home game as boss of the R's after their positive draw away at the Millers last weekend. Who will come up on top this afternoon? Can Bristol City, of course, build on that victory at home at Ashton Gate last weekend as well? Fingers crossed. It's going to be an interesting affair today. Will these managers have had time as well to print something on their side? Will we start to see what Liam Manning is all about? Watching the game today with me in the studio is a man that knows both of these sides very well, QPR and Bristol City. It's a former striker, Tony Thorpe. Tony, brilliant to have you with us, first of all. Welcome. I guess, as I kind of alluded to there at the start, do you think in a matter of days these, well, particularly Liam Manning, will have had a chance to really kind of put his mark on the side, or will it be very much the same Bristol City we've seen in the last few weeks?
I think it would be the same Bristol City that we've seen for the last couple of weeks. He's obviously had a couple of days with the team. He would have had some influence probably from Brian and a couple of the staff that remain here, and it'll be interesting to see how they perform today with, like you say, two relatively new managers.
And I guess for the players, will it just be a case of him probably saying to them, this is really just a kind of free hit, really. I just want to see what you're about. How does he kind of approach those team talks now? Because I suppose he doesn't sort of know what motivates certain players. He's still very much getting to know their kind of personalities.
Yeah, absolutely. He would have seen some footage from last week, whether he was at the game or whether he's seen it on video. So, listen, he'll know quite a bit about some of the players and obviously not so much about the others. So it's a learning curve for him. He needs this team to perform in the way that he wants to play. I've been reading some notes. He wants to play high pressing, high possession. So it seems to me he wants to pinch the ball high up the pitch and then go from there. So really looking forward to the game.
And it's going to be interesting because, of course, quite often we see a bit of a new... Bristol City aren't really in the doldrums, and quite often when a manager moves on, it's because, a side is struggling, and then we see a bit of a new manager bounce. Hopefully we don't get that today from QPR. Obviously, they got a good draw away from home. Why do you think that happens? Is it just a kind of fresh start and maybe a bit of the pressure or tension is released off certain players that are struggling?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've got to be honest, you just said it, they're not in a bad shape at all, no. Bristol City. They're, I think, 4 or 5 points off a top six. Lee Manning's obviously got them in a good position. They've not been struggling, so he can pick the wheels up again from basically what Nigel's done. Ride with this team now. Have a look at them over the next. I think there's an international break, so it gives them an opportunity to look at other players as well coming into the team. So yes, it's going to be intriguing afternoon.
It certainly is. Thank you very much, Tony. Right. Let's head across then to our league commentator for the afternoon, Alex Duffel. He's got all the team news.
Yes, thank you very much, Toby, and welcome along to Loftus Road, a ground which has been fairly kind to Bristol City in recent years, and they'll be looking to capitalise on the rather turbulent period that has been on field for QPR in recent weeks. Departure of Gareth Ainsworth was followed by the appointment of Marty Cifuentes, and Cifuentes makes 3 changes today to the side that drew 1-1 at Rotherham last weekend. Osman Kakai comes in for Reggie Cannon in a like-for-like change at right-back. Experienced Jack Colback comes into the middle of the park in place of Elijah Dixon-Bonner, and last weekend's goalscorer Elias Chair picked up his 5th yellow card of the season in that game, so he is suspended for today's fixture with Andre Dazelle replacing him. Look out for youngster Sinclair Armstrong off the bench. The young forward was QPR's Young Player of the Year last season. Meanwhile, Liam Manning has been in the job even less time than his counterpart, having only been appointed on Tuesday, and he makes just the one change from the side that beat Sheffield Wednesday last week. Taylor Gardner-Hickman drops to the bench, whilst Anis Mehmeti comes into the starting lineup, a move which may well see Andy Vyman revert to his number 10 role and see Jason Knight drop deeper into midfield. Sam Bell is named on the bench, having been named in the England under-20 squad this week, and former QPR player Nahki Wells misses out through injury, so Harry Cornick will continue to provide attacking reinforcement from the bench. And now we can hear from City's new boss, Liam Manning, ahead of his first game in charge of the Robins.
Liam, your first game in charge of Bristol City. How much are you looking forward to this afternoon?
Yeah, can't wait. We've obviously been whirlwind week, but I have to say we've had 3 really good, solid training days. So yeah, looking forward to seeing how the lads transfer some of the information we've given them into the game. So as you know, it's we have to find that right balance of not overloading them too much too early, and a gradual transition. But I have to say the way they've responded in training has been excellent.
How much have you managed to do in those 3 training sessions?
Yeah, like I said, it's that balance. You want to get some key principles in there, but at the same point, you don't want to go too extreme that you overload them. So we managed to get some bits in, and I think the players have been really receptive to it. I think that's the probably the most pleasing thing is how open they've been and how much they've been wanting to take on that information. So yeah, it's been a solid start.
Your first team selection includes Anis Mehmeti. What are you hoping to see from him today?
I think for me starts with behaviours. So again, I think for us and the team really important. Everybody attacks, everybody defends. So I'll definitely be looking for the right behaviours in and out of possession. Want him to be brave, want him to get on the ball, want him to excite, want him to take people on, want him to try and create. And at the same point, I want him to do his job defensively. So yeah, I'll be putting a lot on him.
Sold out away end, 2,600 Bristol City fans. How much are you looking forward to having them behind you as well?
Yeah, can't wait to obviously meet them, and huge appreciation for the people travelling and the support, and they can be massive for us. Again, I think the fact they've travelled in that numbers is incredible.
Liam Manning there with Robins TV. What have you made of Liam so far? Kind of first impression, seems like a very relaxed, calm guy. Maybe that is something that the players maybe haven't necessarily seen with Nigel Pearson to an extent. How have you made of that sort of that personality that he's showing?
Yeah, I mean, I was looking the other day. He's been at Oxford and Milton Keynes, so he's a young manager. So he loves lots of fresh ideas. He comes across really well there. He can't wait obviously for the game to start. That's when his tactical know-how he can get involved with the Bristol City players, and he will make changes. There's no doubt about that. You're going to pick up injuries, suspensions, so on and so on. So. It'll be interesting to see how the game, obviously, where Bristol City can obviously exploit, in certain areas today. And he'll be looking for, obviously, Mehmeti to get on the ball, because he is a bright spot when he plays well. He does remind me a little bit of Elias Chair. They're very similar. Obviously, he's not playing today, he's suspended, which is good news for Bristol City. But they are very similar. You want them on the ball, you want them offensively on the ball, further up the pitch, making things happen. And, early signs from the managers, it's what we want to hear. He wants to be positive and press high. And
it's an interesting one with Mehmeti, because there's so much excitement when he came in. We've had the likes of Zach Viner on this show, Rob Atkinson, who talk about just how hard he works. He's in ahead of everybody else in the mornings. What do you think? I guess I'm sure he'd admit himself that he's fallen below a level that he would have liked to have hit pretty early on since joining the club. What do you think has sort of been missing for him? Where do you think is it just a confidence thing?
Absolutely, yeah. I really like him, but he's had a dip in form. And we mentioned it last week on the radio. It's been a shame, and obviously he came on a sub last week, and he did okay. But players like that, you want to get them on. You want to get them on the ball, like we said, in good areas, because they can make things happen and they create a lot of things for you. It's just a dip in form. Let's hope he can have a good game today, and obviously push on from here.
And what have you made of City this season? Because, like you said, we've not had a change of manager because we've necessarily been picking up consistent poor results. It wasn't necessarily the most convincing win last weekend against Sheffield Wednesday, but we're grinding out the occasional win. We're in a decent position. It's all very tight, as it always is in the Championship, around those playoff spots and down to the sort of bottom half of the table. I guess it's quite exciting that we're in a decent position and we could really sort of maybe see a bit of a bounce and a bit of consistency, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned it, a minute ago. I think we're 4 or 5 points probably from a playoff place. It is a tough, long season, 46 games, as you're well aware, and there's a lot of graft, and you're going to have to grind out results. Potentially, Queen's Park Rangers are fighting for their lives. This is not going to be easy, and you've got to grind out results. I just think losing those 2 or 3 games in the last 4 or 5 was the writing on the wall, obviously, for Nigel. But winning last week, let's say ugly, but we got the job done, which was important against obviously a frustrating Sheffield Wednesday team. So, hopefully we can move on from there.
Absolutely. Well, we've had some cracking away games so far this season, some late wins as well. Fingers crossed it's another one this afternoon. But it's now time to turn our attention to the women's side of the football club, who are adapting to life in the WSL. And no better way to grab your first win than a cracking away win at West Ham.
Nicely worked by Evans. Around the corner here to the chasing Smith. Smith with the cutback. West Ham with a big chance and a big shout for handball, and the referee does give the penalty. Viviana save for West Ham, makes no mistake. Marchese made the move to go in the opposite direction. Fooled by a say. And West Ham have their breakthrough goal. Bristol City need some leadership right now. Here is Napier. Napier to Rachel Furness. Good looking ball and an equaliser. Well, it doesn't take long for Bristol City to get themselves back into the game. And it's all thanks to a brilliant ball into the box here from Rachel Furness. Clever touch, Napier. Lifting one through the channel. And it's a chance to break forward here for Morgan. Morgan on to Jones. Back to Morgan. Nice football this. Napier. Napier delivers. Big deflection on it. Then the acrobatics. And Bristol City have turned in. Mackenzie Arnold pushing away. But it wasn't enough to keep Bristol City out here. And here's the chance, which comes in from Rogers. Well saved by Mackenzie Arnold, but Ella Powell on the follow-up. Not the best of clearances away. Back in West Ham possession. Atkinson trying to feed it through. It's Hayashi. Looking for Ueki, who turns and scores. On the stroke of half-time, West Ham are level. What a fabulous turn and strike after a brilliant ball from Hayashi. Ueki with her third West Ham goal. Good looking delivery, and it's a problem for West Ham as they concede a third. Well, it's more poor defending here, and West Ham are punished. The header over the top of Mackenzie Arnold.
Welcome back to Robin's TV, and of course a cracking win last weekend for the women's side. They're back in action tomorrow against Villa at Ashton Gate, set to be a cracking occasion, and of course there's still tickets available for that game at bcfc.co.uk, so make sure you head down to Ashton Gate, get behind the women's side, and hopefully they can maybe build a bit of an unbeaten run as well. That would be absolutely fantastic. Not long to go now until kick-off, and we'll be back after this short break.
City with a chance to cross. He does towards JG with the header. Oh, what a goal that is! For Mara JG.
Acceleration from O'Dowda, excellent cross. Aki Wells, now Adam Nash, and it's 2-1 to Bristol City.
Some cracking memories there. I remember that Naki Wells late winner at Loftus Road. Right, it's been a busy week for Bristol City, of course. All change at the top. We were sat around on Monday, all poised for the managerial announcement, and eventually it came on Tuesday. So let's have a bit of a recap of Liam Manning's first day in the office.
3, 2, 1 when you're ready. Nice, and then we'll do it again. So we'll hold for 5 seconds, then walk and a smile on this one. Okay. 3, 4, 5, and walk. Spot on. Perfect. Happy?
Yeah. Have a good look, haven't we?
Yeah.
Did you have any breakfast this morning?
I did actually. We stopped the services on the way here, grabbed a coffee and a sandwich. Yeah, so plan was it.
Enough. Liam, welcome to Bristol City. How much are you looking forward to getting started?
Yeah, I can't wait. Delighted to be here. Fans are realistic. Fans are honest. If they see players, put in a real shift and compete and run their hardest and be brave and try things,
Good. Yeah.
Perfect. And then just kind of straight face, just looking off towards the door that side. Perfect. So just holding that side. So a tiny bit lower on your right. And then just arms folded for me. And again, look into the camera, that's good. And then back to me again, smile on the face. So just aiming kind of towards the back of the head. Have a look at that one.
JG.
And then can you do like a head jump? Sir? Yeah, I've done that. Perfect.
Decent views out that way, by the way.
Yeah, good job.
Beat me to it, you were quick. Whatever you want. Put it on right. Hey, look, we'll let everyone in first. Hey, look, I'm not going to keep it real short because I know you guys have probably had a long day and waiting around. Look, I think first and foremost, delighted to be here. Can't wait to get working with you guys. I think the big bits for me, what you find, we're just normal guys. I got into coaching ultimately because I love football and I want to help people. And that'll be no different in terms of everybody in here, whether you start your career, end your career, whatever it is, we're here to help you and support you. And I think that's the biggest bit. I'm terribly obsessive, very process driven. So we'll go through some bits in here tomorrow in terms of what it looks like with culture, with how we want to play and how we execute that. But the detail, you'll see, we'll nail a lot of that. But that's it. I can't wait to get going with you guys. I think there's so much potential. You've done a good job already. Hey, let's get cracking. Let's make sure we get ready to win at the weekend. That's what it's about. You will find in these meetings as well, I'll come for people in terms of I do a lot of Q&A. So being present in the meeting, which again, eye contact's great at the minute, it's massive. So when I'm in here, it might be that I ask you to see what you think and what's going through your heads. Because I think the biggest bit when you guys step on the pitch, you've got to be aligned, you've got to be clear on what we're trying to do, and you've got to be brave enough to communicate as well.
What do you make of that then? A lot of eye contact he likes in the meeting, back and forth as well. Is that sort of commonplace? Would you have liked that as a player?
I think we're all different, and obviously he said he's process driven, so that'll be on the training pitch. We want them to work hard with the sounds of it, and obviously leaving nothing away. He want his players to really compete, and obviously I like the way he says I want my players to try things. I want them to be brave, and that comes with time. And we've got 2 new managers today going head to head, and it's very intriguing. We've already said that, but I'm looking forward to it.
You were obviously here when Danny Wilson came in. What is that first day like when the new manager arrives? Is it you kind of all on tenterhooks a little bit, and you're sort of thinking to yourself, right, I need to, I guess it does give you that extra bit of energy, I guess, to really step up a notch?
Yeah, Danny came in very similar to Neil. We weren't in a bad place. Some of the players were underperforming, which happens at most clubs. But it can work both ways. There's players that obviously want to impress because they've not been in the team, and there's players that are in the team that are obviously thinking, well, hold on a minute, it's a fresh start. We've all got to start from the beginning here. So it can work both ways. But no, he comes across really well. He's a young manager, and let's only time will tell to see how well he does.
Because it's particularly funny, of course. I mean, Matty James, Andy King, big loyalty to Nigel Pearson. So that's strange for them as well, given he's brought them into the club again.
Yeah, they're the players that potentially could be looking over their shoulders, because normally when an old manager does like you and a new manager comes in, you feel that you've got a lot of impressing to do, and starting with those two, because obviously from the old regime. So they're all starting from the beginning. It's a tough game today away at Queen's Park Rangers, who are fighting for their lives. It would just be interesting just to see how he goes about. How he goes about this today.
Super. Quick score prediction.
I'm going to go 2-1 Bristol City.
2-1 Bristol City. There you have it then. Right. So it's now time for us to say goodbye to those of you that are watching this afternoon on YouTube and Facebook. Thank you for joining us. Hope you've enjoyed our coverage today with Tony Thorpe. And of course, you can still download your Matchday pass if you are overseas at bcfc.co.uk. So please do come and enjoy the game with us this afternoon. Alex Stuffer will be joining Tony on commentary shortly. And for those of you that are still with us, welcome along. Thank you very much for enjoying our coverage this afternoon. Can Bristol City build on that win last weekend under new manager Liam Manning?